Hello and welcome to Honeoye Falls-Lima, where tonight we have Section 5 football between the home HFL Cougars and the visiting Maritime-Tapestry Seahawks. I'm Peter Carosa, joined along Steve Bradley for tonight's game. Steve, we've got two teams that I don't think have ever played each other. We got Section 6 and Section 5 going at it tonight. What's your thoughts, your first thoughts going into this one?
I think it's a really interesting matchup, Peter. This game came about because the coach of Maritime Tapestry, Glenn Molinich, is a Pittsford native, and he and Coach John Russ are actually friends who go to a lot of coaching clinics together, and they had said that if it ever worked out where they both needed a game, they would play, and they both had an opening here in Week 7 of this season. So I think it's going to be very interesting. Maritime Tapestry, very potent ground attack, and I think they score a ton of points. So slowing them down is a big mission for the Cougars. And for HFL, I think they're going to rely on the ground game too, just to slow the clock and limit possessions.
So we just saw the Seahawks get announced here at HFL, waiting for the home Cougars to come out. In the meantime, we'll talk tonight's keys to the game, brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Invest right here. Steve and I both kind of already alluded to it. This game's going to be a little bit of a chess match. You know, these two teams aren't too familiar with one another. They've seen game film of each other, but they've yet to ever play each other. So trying to figure out what the tendencies are, how each other's going to play offensively, defensively against one another. There's going to be a bit of a feeling out phase in the beginning of this one.
Right, when we talked to Coach Russ this week, he said that's one of the things that he anticipated is maybe taking a quarter or so to figure out what Maritime Tapestry was doing and the best way to try to counteract that. So they might make some adjustments on the fly there. Our second key is the ground game. We mentioned that Maritime Tapestry, they have two runners that really we need to keep our eye on. Javon Funderburk. He's the tailback, 875 yards rushing. He's averaging 16.8 yards per carry and has 11 touchdowns this season. And the quarterback, Jalen Coleman, has run for 574 yards, Peter, and 14 touchdowns. So he's very capable of getting the football in the end zone.
And the last key to the game for tonight, 4 quarters, particularly for the home HFL Cougars, stringing together 4 good quarters of football. That's been a bit of the story for them in their last 3 games, specifically their last 2 playing a great first half, and then second half, the game got away from them. And then the last game that we did, the Brockport game, dug themselves a sizable hole at halftime, then came right back out in the third quarter, stormed back to bring that game back to, I think they took the lead at one point.
They did take the lead with 3 touchdowns in the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter gave up a couple touchdowns and ultimately lost that game by 10 points. So definitely 4 solid quarters will be key for the Cougars tonight.
And we'll have the national anthem sung here at the game, and we will play a rendition live on our broadcast.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And that rendition on the broadcast was sung by the Honeoye Falls-Lima Select Choir.
In the rendition in the press box, Peter, nice job by Claire and Maeve Connors standing right behind us. So we got to hear a great version up close tonight.
Captains from both teams coming out towards midfield. For the home HFL Cougars, captains include number 11, Nate Meacham, number 52, Luke Amends, number 54, Patrick Adair, and number 64, August Youngstrom. Looks like there is 5 captains for Maritime-Tapestry. Try and make these numbers out. Looks like number 10, Jalen Coleman. Number 14, David Dalton. Number 2, Alan King. There's 2 more. It looks like possibly 51, Jaden Mason. And number 11, Davian Blackwell.
And Blackwell's name we'll probably be calling quite a bit tonight. He's the leading tackler for the Seahawks, Peter, and he's also he's not leading the team in receptions, but he leads in receiving touchdowns. He has 4 catches this year. 3 of them have gone for touchdowns. Tonight's officials, the referee is Christopher Green. Our umpire is Wayne Brockman. The line judge is Joe Testa. The linesman is Brian Zalanka. And the back judge is Pernell Jones.
So the Maritime-Tapestry Seahawks won the toss, elected to defer. So they will kick off, and the Cougars will receive. So we'll see the HFL offense first.
And I think that's good for us. That'll give us an indication of how tonight's game might play out. HFL, over the years, has run a balanced offense where sometimes the pass dictated the run. Last couple games, they've unleashed the Wildcat, Peter, and I know we'll get to it after the first snap, but it'll be interesting to see how effective that is. I know Coach Molinich, when I talked to him this week, was very aware that they run the Wildcat package, and Maritime-Tapestry should be ready to defend that. And if the name Molinich is familiar, it should be, because Glenn's father, Keith Molinich, was a coach at Pittsford for about 30 years. He's now on the staff at the University of Buffalo. And Glenn and his 2 brothers all played for their dad at Pittsford. They also went on to play fullback at the University of Buffalo.
So the ball is teed up here. We're just about ready to get underway. Here's the kick. It's a short one. Going to be fielded by HFL. A couple of different players getting their hands on the ball, but it was Austin Coyle who eventually fell on it. So here comes the HFL offense. And tonight's player to watch for HFL, brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Invest right here, Benny Feinberg. Running back / quarterback, Wildcat quarterback, we'll call him. He has had
like 30 carries last week, right, Peter?
Yeah, just under 30, and it looks like coming out here to start is going to be Nate Meacham from the gun, so they're going to come in their traditional package 4 receiver set. Meacham from the gun. Going to hand off to Finn. Finn straight ahead. Finn makes it through the first line of defenders, gets a first down. And that first down brought to you by HFMP. HFMP has a wide selection of locally fermented foods and vegan options to nourish a plant-based lifestyle. Check out their newly expanded selection after the game. And that'll give us a chance to look at this starting offensive line for the HFL Cougars, brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Youngstrom, Bailey, Adair, Fisher, and Grasley. And a look at the rest of the starters here on that offense. Mentioned Finn there getting the ball on first down as Cougars come back out for receiver set. Coyle in motion to the near side. Meacham collects the snap, goes right back to Finn. Finn straight ahead, and he's got another first down run. Nice first down run back-to-back there by Finn.
Yeah, great job by the Cougars line. Finn showed good patience there. Big hole on the other side. You see Austin Youngstrom out in front, along with Patrick Adair. Nice hole, nice 12-yard gain. 2 carries, 2 first downs for the Cougars.
That first down brought to you again by Honeoye Falls Marketplace, the butchers at HFMP. Cut your meat to order. It does not get any better than that. So 2 plays, 2 runs, 2 first downs. Cougars now marching into the Seahawks territory inside the 40-yard line. Trips to the near side. Hand off to Finn. Finn ahead again, and looks like he'll get about 8-9 yards. So won't get another first down, but a good chunk of yards on first down.
Absolutely. Average about 10 yards a carry are the Cougars. You see two of the linemen pulling, including Grassley, 66. That sets up a nice seam. And Finn with the patience again, right up the middle. Let's call it 2nd and 1. 2nd and 2. And Peter, the Cougars have spread the field with 4 receivers and have run 4 straight times. I think they like the numbers match up in the box.
And they go right back to Finn, who breaks the initial tackle in the backfield, gets the first down and a couple more.
So it's another first down. The chains move. And pretty good start here for HFL.
First down brought to you by HFMP. 7 days of savings means every day you save. Check out their website or circular for details on their daily deep discounted item.
And Brian Finn, a tough runner, Peter. Strong, makes those yards after contact. Showed good discipline on all 4 of these carries. And Coach Russ has to be careful. Has to be very pleased with these first 4 plays.
Yep, averaging just over 4.5 a carry on the 59 carries he's had through the first 6 games of this season. This time they get Feinberg in the backfield and hand the ball off to him, and he's going to be got the first down and more. It's going to be 1st and goal for HFL. Opening drive here at James Dollar Athletic Stadium. Cougars got the ball to start, and they find themselves goal to go here. That first down brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace, true blue local for over 40 years.
You got to love the job that the HFL line has done on these first 5 plays. The runners are doing a great job, but they're not getting contact till they're at the 2nd level.
So 1st and goal from the 8 at about the 9-minute mark here in the first quarter. Trips to the far sideline. Feinberg shifts to Meacham's left. Here's the snap. Handoff goes to Feinberg. Feinberg straight ahead, powering ahead. Going to be tackled inside the 5 at about the 2 or 3 yard line.
And it looks like the Cougars are going to come in with that Wildcat package. We see Finn coming back in along with 49, Johnny Godieri. Nice job there. Feinberg, a very physical runner. He doesn't need much of a hole, and he's very aggressive when he does have a hole. And we're seeing it right there, just attacking the line of scrimmage.
So Meacham stays in the shotgun. Feinberg up back. Finn is the tailback behind Meacham. Here's the snap. Handoff goes to Finn, and Finn is untouched into the end zone. Touchdown, HFL. They score on their opening drive, and it's Connor Finn, the man who got them down there most of the way, ends up capping off the drive by finding the Meehan Architecture end zone with 8:02 to go in the first quarter.
And Cougars just doing the same thing over and over again. Good blocking there. Finn powers in. 6-0 Cougars with the point after pending.
This is Ezra Gathercole. Kick is up. Kick is good. So he stays perfect. 14 for 14 this season. Take another look at that touchdown by Finn.
And again, no contact until Finn is in the end zone. Feinberg in there with a lead block there, sealed off a nice little seam. And Finn did a lot of the work to get the Cougars down the field. He gets the reward with the touchdown.
Yep, that's Brian Finn's 4th rushing touchdown of the season.
Finn came into the game, Peter, with 271 yards rushing on the season. So with that drive, he's well over 300. He had a very nice drive. About a 62-yard drive for the Cougars, all on the ground, in 6 or 7 plays. So very effective, great start.
Obviously, we were mentioning Finn and Feinberg that whole drive, but again, we introduced the starting lineups at offensive line for HFL. You know, the coaches have been very impressed with how they've played throughout the season. The scoreboard hasn't necessarily gone their way, but the group that they've had, which is a mixture of juniors and seniors, the coaching staff really felt that they stepped up last week against Monroe, controlling the offensive line for most of the game. Although they found themselves big and that situation didn't allow the ground game that they were having success with early, they were very happy with the offensive line as HFL does a bit of a squib kick here on the kickoff, and that's fielded by number 6 for the Seahawks, Aaron Bell. So here comes the Maritime Tapestry offense, and the HFL defense will come out on the field with the player to watch, defensive tackle August Youngstrom. We had the conversation before the game. We were trying to say who can we pick as the player to watch, and it's hard not to pick August every time. He's just been an absolute force to be reckoned with on this defensive line for HFL.
Absolutely, and they like to say the film doesn't lie, and when you watch film of HFL, one player stands out up front, and it's August Youngstrom.
So here's the first offensive play for the Seahawks. Going to be a pass play. Coleman looking to his right, throws it, and that's incomplete on the near sideline. Ball intended for Blackwell.
And Coleman, very smooth rolling out, buys himself some time, and throw is just a little bit high on the sideline, incomplete. It'll be second down.
We'll take a look at the rest of the starting lineup here on defense for HFL, brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Invest right here.
Of course, we talked all about the Maritime Tapestry run game, and they come out with a pass on the first play.
Bit of a high snap there, just fielded there safely by Coleman, and he just darts ahead, ends up making 8 yards on a broken play.
Nice job there, because that play could have been a negative play. We saw the poise of Coleman, gathered that snap, able to elude the defenders at the line, cut up field, gain about 7 yards. And to finish your point, Peter, about the HFL offensive line, when I talked to Coach Molinich earlier this week, the first thing he said about HFL that stands out is both of their lines are stout. So let's see how they hold up against this run game here.
3rd and 2. Pitch play to the far sideline to Blackwell. Makes the first man miss in the backfield, but then number 2, that's Grady Goodburlett, flying up from the cornerback position to make a tackle for a loss. It'll bring up 4th down for the Seahawks. They're at their own, we'll call it 38, 39-yard line.
And Finn was the one that got the initial penetration there, wasn't able to make the tackle. Goodburlett comes in and cleans up, and now it's about 4th and 6 from the 35.
So they end up marking that back a couple yards. Offense still on the field for Maritime Tapestry. Some pre-snap motion. Coleman going to keep it. Coleman going to be stopped after about a yard. Looked like he was maybe expecting to run a bit of an option play there, and when he looked to his left,
there was nobody to pitch
in the backfield.
Right. And what a series for the HFL defense. After the offense comes out and marches down the field, they get a 4 and out. And right now, early, the line of scrimmage has been controlled by HFL.
So the Cougar offense finds itself already in Seahawk territory. We'll call it the 36-yard line, with a chance to go up 2 scores about midway through this first quarter.
And over the years, we would probably say, do you think they'll take a shot here? And my answer is no, they haven't stopped the run game yet. I expect it to keep coming.
And they go right back to the well. Here's Brian Finn, first down, inside the 25-yard line. That first down, of course, brought to you by HFMP. Start your day off right with Kentucky Legends Bacon, only $2.99 per pound every Tuesday at Honeoye Falls Marketplace.
That's really an isolation play for Finn. They've run it 4 or 5 times, and he has been very far downfield before he's gotten tackled, and the same result there. So, I mean, they went to the left side that time. I wouldn't be surprised if they run that to the right here.
Meacham, hands off. Finn to the right side. Finn running. And he's going to be tackled at about the line to gain here. It's going to be close if it's a first down or not. Nope, they're going to motion it. So it's going to be first down again and we have a timeout. Timeout taken by the Seahawks.
And 6 first downs in 6 minutes for the Cougars, Peter. I mean, it's just the start that they couldn't have asked for a better start. This is what they want to do. 8-9 yards of play and just methodically move down the field, take care of the football. And with that great stand by the defense, now an opportunity to go up 2 scores midway through the first.
So that last play was a first down, brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace. They bake their sub rolls from scratch every day so that a bite of every HFMP submarine sandwich is bursting with flavor. And this timeout, brought to you by the Sentinel. The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel has been proudly providing local community news for over 35 years, since 1989. The Sentinel is a weekly community print newspaper that has been proud to call this area their home.
And just an impressive start by HFL, considering the opponents that they played and the record being 1-5. Sometimes you get to this point in the season and that you don't always have the locker room stay with you. And Coach Russ has been very, very, very happy with the attitude and the effort. And right now you can see that this team is locked in with the way they've come out and started this game.
Cougars come out, 3 receivers set. Feinberg, the up back on the left-hand side. Here's the handoff to Finn, and Finn is going to be tackled. He's able to fall forward for a yard. That was number 50, Trevor Miner, the linebacker, coming up to make the tackle there.
And that looks like it was a pretty good timeout by Maritime-Tapestry. That's the first time they've won the line of scrimmage decisively, and a nice tackle there to keep Finn for a minimum gain. Miner's a sophomore, Peter, 5'10", 185, and you got to imagine that was a pretty spirited timeout for the Seahawks.
Cougars on 2nd and 9. Feinberg is now the back to Meacham's right, and we have a flag thrown indicating it looks like we might have a too many men penalty. Waiting on the official.
So it's on the defense.
It's on the defense. Nope, it's on the offense. Nope, wait. the head official pointed towards the defense, but the official was starting to mark off towards the HFL backfield. He does now start to march towards the north end zone. So that'll bring up 2nd and 4 for HFL.
So HFL will take that there after a 1-yard gain. Now it's 2nd and 4. Very, very manageable. Probably Benny Feinberg here.
And the handoff does go to Feinberg. Feinberg navigating his way through, and he's into the Meehan Architecture end zone. Touchdown, Cougars.
9-yard run there, Benny Feinberg. You see him go right up the middle. I think he gets hit about the 2-yard line, bounces off the tackle into the end zone. So HFL, 4:40 left in the first quarter with a 13-0 lead.
Gather-Cole on the field to attempt the point after. Snap, hold, kick up. And good. 15 for 15 on the season for Gather-Cole. We talked to head coach John Russ about Ezra and just the element that he brings to this team and the ability to score from a distance. And for those who were either at the game or watched last week, HFL against Monroe attempted, a kick in the range of 40 yards, and the thing went over the upright, just outside by, must have been no more than a foot over outside of the left upright. But he's got quite a leg on him. Depending on what the Cougars do on the kickoff, if they elect to go deep, he can easily sail this thing into the end zone for a touchback.
And the question that we asked is, how far can he kick it? And Coach Russ says that Ezra makes 55-yard field goals sometimes in practice. Game situation might go 50 or so. And he's got a strong enough leg to play in college, but he's a dual sport athlete, and really soccer is his first sport. So football is something that he does, and he's very good at it. Good at soccer as well.
Here's Gather-Cole lined up, and he will kick it deep, showing off the strength. Bounces inside the 5. That's a live football until it goes into the end zone. So
that would have worked in the NFL too. Put right in the landing zone, right? That's exactly where you want to put it, right at about the 2-yard line.
So if that can just stay outside that goal line, it's a live football in high school until it crosses the goal line. So like the strategy there by special teams coordinator Ryan Wise there. with the pooch kick and then kicking it deep and trying to keep the receiving team on their heels, not knowing what they are going to get. So this is the Seahawks' second offensive possession. The first time they went 4 and out and turned the ball over. This time they're deeper into their own territory to start at their own 20. Coleman hands off. And that's Moore, I believe. Demetrius Moore, number 5. Check that. That's number 2, Alan King on the carry.
And Maritime Tapestries are 2 charter schools from Buffalo. People might remember Maritime being paired with Health Sciences a few years ago. They won 3 straight Section 6 championships and played in the regionals. This is the 3rd year of this team and this partnership, and Coach Mullen is very happy. Teams get along well, good partnership, and wow, what a hit there. That settles.
Nope, that was number 56, Blake Fisher, outside linebacker, making a play in the backfield.
So right now, this HFL is, we said, controlling the line of scrimmage right there. Just a great read by the linebacker, shoots the gap, makes the tackle.
So one of the years, these, I'll say 2 teams, the old partnership between Maritime and Health Sciences almost played HFL because HFL won the sectional championship in 21. Normally, Section 5 would have played Section 6 with a trip to states on the line. However, that was the COVID year, no state tournament, no game played. Here's 3rd and 11 for the Seahawks.
Watch
Coleman trying to make something out of nothing, and he's going to be tackled at about the 26-yard line. So not enough for a first down, but it will bring up 4th and 4.
See new personnel coming in for the Seahawks, make you think that they're probably going to line up in punt formation and kick this one away.
And you can see August Youngstrong. I don't know if that was by design, but he was back at the original line of scrimmage still, almost acting like a quarterback spy in that situation and able to at least slow Coleman down enough to get some help. As a high snap fielded, kick is away.
Very short kick.
Very short. Going to take a Maritime Tapestry bounce towards midfield. Good Burlett was in the backfield there.
Just missed getting the block there, but a nice job by the punter just to get that kick off. High snap, had to readjust. Good Burlett comes across. I'm not sure if he got a piece of it or not, Peter. Ball went almost straight up, and then it did take a bit of a Maritime Tapestry bounce out to the 43-yard line.
So the Cougars, again, starting with field position into Seahawk territory. Ball at the 44-yard line.
And you did the math. You know, Maritime Tapestry averaging 45 points a game coming in. Is that right?
I believe so.
So just a really good start on both sides of the ball for HFL here with 2 minutes and 25 seconds left in the first.
Meacham fakes the handoff. Cougars to throw. Meacham under pressure. Lofts one up towards the middle of the field. He's got a man. That's Feinberg. Feinberg with a block, working his way to the near sideline. Ball's out!
I think it rolls out at the 1-yard line. I think that's going to be a huge break for the Cougars.
Yeah, the ball came out when he was just inside the 10-yard line. They're marking it out at the 7.
At the spot of the fumble. So we had talked about HFL maybe taking a shot. They do throw their first pass of the game. It's caught by Feinberg at the 21. Good move downfield, gets a block there, and ball is punched out at about the 8-yard line. Great hustle there by Coleman to make that play, and the ball rolls out of bounds, and we're going to see where they mark it.
They're marking it back as if there was a penalty because the ball is coming all the way back to the 22-yard line. But as you mentioned, great effort there by Coleman not to give up on the play. You saw him as he make the tackle with the punch out, and if that ball just took a little bit different exit angle,
it would have been
a touchback and ball right back to the Seahawks.
And I think that we didn't see the administration of the penalty, but I think that call's got to be a hold on the downfield receiver, the downfield blocker. They moved back 10 yards from about the spot of the foul.
And here's a handoff right to Finn, and he's immediately dropped in the backfield by Blackwell.
Yeah, and Blackwell plays at 100% full speed all the time. He's coming on a blitz there. Finn really never had a chance. So maybe that's going to be the Maritime Tapestry answer, or some run blitzes here to try and slow down this HFL ground game.
And we mentioned him as the player to watch earlier on this defense for the Seahawks. Strong safety, 51 tackles, 2 interceptions. He's their go-to guy.
But you see him here, he's lining up right as a middle linebacker, and he looks like he's ready to come again.
And here's the handoff to Finn. Brian Finn trying to power ahead. Going to get maybe a yard or 2. So get back some of the yardage lost on first down.
Then Blackwell was the one making the tackle there. He's a junior, 6 feet, 175 pounds, and when he and Finn made contact there, he was able to stand Finn right up and slow him down.
And that's the chess match that these two coaches are playing, not knowing each other, how their teams are going to play each other, but trying to figure out in-game what adjustments to make. Hey, they're gashing us in between the tackles. Well, let's take our best player and put him right there and try and dare them to keep running. Meacham to pass. Meacham lofts one over the middle. That's caught by Goodburlett. Goodburlett foot race to the end zone, and he's in. Grady Goodburlett finds the Meehan Architecture end zone with 24 seconds to go in the first quarter. Puts the Cougars up 20-0.
And there we see the good patience there. Nate Meacham looks to the near sideline, comes off of that read right to the middle of the field. Goodburlett's open, an explosive playmaker. Catch with some yards after. Touchdown.
And nice adjustment there by Goodburlett on the reception, coming back to the ball, not waiting for it to come to him because Coleman was in the vicinity and was maybe looking to make a play on that football. As Gather Cole is up. And good. So Cougars 21, Seahawks nothing.
Take a look at it again. And nice job by Meacham. Looked off the defender. Broken tackle by Goodburlett. Splits the defenders. 6 points. You a little surprised by this start here, Peter?
This is some vintage HFL football. I mean, the scoring on every possession, making it work both on the ground, through the air. You know, this is a good team. This is a 4-2 team from Section 6 that has played some good teams, and you know, we didn't really know what to expect because they've never, no common opponents. Haven't played against one another. You know, it's definitely got to be a bit of a tall order, probably a bit of a long bus ride,
right?
I would imagine, for Maritime Tapestry to try and get off after the 60-some-odd miles from where they're located to come out to Honeoye Falls here, and they're just trying to find themselves here in the waning seconds of the first quarter.
Gather Cole with a deep kick again.
And bounces through the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Back-to-back touchbacks. And I think this series is really big for both teams, right? Because Maritime Tapestry, the offense has been slowed down, but they have the big play potential. And we haven't seen Vanderberg really carry the ball yet. And he plays both ways. The amazing thing about his yardage total is he only has 52 carries, and that's a little bit by design because there's a lot of talented players on the Maritime Tapestry team. They spread the ball around, and to this point, 11, 12 carries a game has been good, but now they might need to lean on him a little bit more to try and get back in this game.
And I think what they've done offensively so far has played into the strong suit of the HFL defense. I think if they try and spread the ball a little bit outside the hash marks and maybe a little bit down the field, they'll have more success, as we have a pre-snap penalty. As it looks like you can see rain starting to pick up here at HFL. Figured it was going to be some on and off showers. Seems to be a little bit more of a steady drizzle right now. Can certainly play a factor, as the penalty was against the Seahawks, so that'll march them back 5. 1st and 15 now. Here's a pass out to the far side to Blackwell. Blackwell going to be dropped after a gain of about 4 yards. Looked like it was number 1, Austin Coyle, in on the tackle.
And a good job there by Coyle, not letting Blackwell get away from him, keeping him in front, pushing him toward the sideline, able to converge for the tackle, and actually a negative play.
No, that was gain of 4. It was 1st and 15.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
So that'll be the end of the first quarter HFL leading 21-0 over the visiting Maritime-Tapestry Seahawks. We'll take a quick commercial timeout.
Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Fresh breads, donuts, special cakes made every day from scratch. Our butcher still cuts your meats to order. Doesn't get any better than that. Hot pizza, fish fries on Friday. Order your favorite sub right here. Organic foods and healthy choices. And beer, lots of beer. Honeoye Falls Marketplace. We're true blue local. Uncompromised quality close to home.
Tonight's game also brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Fans who are sitting on IRA money that they don't know what to do with, or those who want to take control of their money left at 401k money left at an old employer, should give Bullfinch a call at 624-3150. Do you know a working teenager can become a retirement millionaire just by starting a child IRA? Want to learn more? Call your local mutual fund, the Bullfinch Fund, at 624-3150. Bullfinch Fund. Invest right here. And tonight's game brought to you by Meehan Architecture. With the Meehan Architecture Sports Update, HFL boys soccer finished the regular season with an 8-6 record and currently sit in the 4th seed position. Today is the last day of the regular season for the Class A. And the sectional tournament schedule will be announced this weekend, as we are about ready to start the second quarter of play. Also talking HFL girls soccer, they finished the regular season with a 4-12 record. They're in the 10th seed position. Again, same as the boys, last day of Class A regular season games. We'll see where they end up in the sectional tournament this weekend, as the second down play is a run there by the Seahawks going to Coleman.
Maritime Tapestry pulls the guard there. It looked like there was going to be maybe more there than there was, and a good job of the HFL defense limiting that to about a 3-yard carry. Big 3rd and 9 here. And the rain must be picking up, Peter. You're looking on the screen. Interesting to see how much of a factor that will be.
Yeah, it's funny looking out the window in front of us here. We really can't see a whole lot, but it shows up quite well on the broadcast, as that was an errant snap just going to be fielded there on the ground by Coleman. That's their 3rd down play, so it's going to be 4th and 2 sticks here.
It looked like the timing was off, and the center snapped it before everybody else was ready. And now big 4th down, and given what happened on the last punt, I would not be surprised if HFL turns up the heat here with a high snap and just tries to maybe get that block punt or influence this kick somehow. 14, I believe, is the punter.
Yeah, I was trying to catch that. That's David Dalton.
And Dalton made a very nice play on the last punt just to corral the snap and be able to get the kick off.
So Cougars have 2 players back, as we have a penalty flag. Delay? Yep. Calling delay a game against the Seahawks, so that'll move them back another 5.
Trying to see where Grady Goodberlet is lined up here. That's probably where I'd anticipate the rush to come from. Unless he's the man that's back deep, which he sometimes is a kick returner.
Much cleaner snap to Dalton. He gets the punt off right away. Going to be initially thought to be fielded by Harrison. He's going to let it bounce past midfield, then pick it up. Comes across midfield inside the 40-yard line, and he's going to be tackled. We do have a penalty flag on the field in the area of the return, so likely going to be moving this one back a couple yards. We'll take another look here.
Very nice punt there, though, especially from that deep in the territory. Unfortunate Harrison was unable to catch it in the air. Then he's got to retreat and corral it. Nice job. And he makes a nice gain. And waiting for the official indication, but typically this is on the return team.
Yep, just got it from the official. It's a hold on the receiving team. So that'll be a 10-yard spot foul. So that should move the ball back to the HFL 45-yard line. So this will be their first offensive series starting inside their own territory since the opening kickoff.
Right. 4th possession, 3 for 3 with touchdowns. And I think this is where that chess game we talked about starts. Now HFL established the run game early in the game, came back, hit a pass for the touchdown on 3rd down on the last series. So the approach here is I think, really going to be interesting. Especially with the formation, you'd think it looks like another run to Finn, but we'll see what we get.
Here's a snap. Pitch to Feinberg, who's in the backfield. And Feinberg going to have to spin and make a couple men miss at the line of scrimmage. He'll pick up 2 on that first down run.
Yep, looks like Feinberg and Finn are sharing the carries tonight. It's the first toss, though. It's been a straight handoff most of the time. Ran off the far side, and most nights you'd take that 3 or 4 on first down, but the way the Cougars have been going tonight, that's one of their smaller first down plays.
We mentioned Finn coming in the game with 59 carries. Feinberg comes into the game with 64 carries, although almost half of them came a week ago against Monroe. Coach Russ was very complimentary of Finn and he said the change of style, change of pace back that he is to complement Finn. As it goes back to Feinberg, he'll try and drive. He'll maybe pick up about a yard there. It'll bring up 3rd, and we'll call it 7.
And that's where we see that style that Coach Russ was talking about. You notice that even though that Feinberg is stopped, he could have gone backwards, but he fell forward. And when you fall forward, that gets you that extra yard. And still 3rd and 7, but with the Cougars, that's definitely manageable, especially with Nate Meacham, who has started the game 2 for 2 and has had time to throw.
So a 4-receiver set for the Cougars. Trips to the near sideline. Feinberg is to Meacham's right. Here's the snap. Meacham to throw. Steps up in the pocket. Then he's going to step to his right. Coming back across the field. Looking downfield. Fires, and that's going to be caught by number 0. That's Chase Harrison. Goes down to one knee after catching it, but it's enough for an HFL first down. Brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Entertaining at your home. HFMP is the exclusive purveyor of wholly sustained raised shrimp located in the frozen seafood department.
Really nice job here by Meacham. Try to step up in the pocket. That lane closed, rolls out, throws on the run, finds Harrison, 40-yard line. First down, Cougars.
Feinberg still the tailback in the backfield. Meacham again to throw. Screen. That's going to be swatted at the line by number 51, Jaden Mason.
Nice play there by Mason. I think if Meacham's able to get the ball over Mason's head, you've got Grady Goodberlet and a lot of green grass there. So really nice play by the defensive lineman to snuff that play out. Actually, it's not grass, it's turf, but Goodberlet would have had room to make a play there, and we've seen how exciting and explosive he can be in the open field.
2nd and 10. Feinberg to Meacham's left. Parrish, the man in motion, gets the handoff. And he's going to be tackled for a loss. Check that is number 19, Jameer Paris, not Parrish.
Looks like the play was made by 0, the cornerback for the Seahawks. That's Isaiah Gary. What a nice tackle.
So Cougars face another 3rd and long. They were able to convert last time through the air. The ball is at the Seahawks 42-yard line, so probably a little bit too far for Gather Cole territory, so maybe 4 down territory depending on how aggressive the Cougars want to get. Low snap. Meacham steps up under pressure, and he's going to be sacked by number 53. That's Antonio Reese Jr. for the Seahawks.
Nice job there by Maritime-Tapestry bringing the pressure. Both the ends had good pressure upfield. Meacham tried to step up, and right there when he did it, Antonio Reese Jr. was waiting for him for the sack.
So Cougars will punt. Here's the snap, and the kick is up and away. Takes a bounce at about the 30-yard line, and will take an HFL roll inside the 25-yard line.
So I think that play on the screen pass was really the key to slowing that series down for Maritime-Tapestry. If Goodberlet's able to get that ball, I think he's got a good chance for a first down, if not a touchdown. So, looked like a pretty innocent routine play at that time, but it really changed that drive.
And the Seahawks get exactly what they want, and that's a punt by the Cougars and the ball back. Again, a steady rain here falling. Picked up definitely as we crossed into the second quarter of play. And here's the handoff. Again, Alan King with the carry. He'll get about 3-4 yards.
And this HFL defense has been just outstanding against the run for the first quarter and a half here. That really hasn't been a lot for Maritime-Tapestry to work with.
And we really haven't seen a whole lot of number 1. You can see him on the sideline there next to the coach. He's their leading rusher and hasn't really touched the ball too much as this goes to Dalton. He'll get a yard and a late flag.
Let's see if what we can find here.
Chris Settles and number 49 for HFL, that's Johnny Gutierrez making the play, and then the flag was thrown kind of towards the far side numbers.
Right, it looked like a couple of players were engaged on the far side and maybe something after the whistle. And it's offsetting, so it's really not going to impact either team there.
So, after all that, I'll bring up 3rd and about 6.
Obviously, big play here for the Seahawks. I do not have them with a first down yet tonight, Peter. So, just to get that first down, move the clocks, buy a little time for the defense to catch its breath.
So here's 3rd and 6. Coleman to pass. Throws to the near sideline. That's going to be caught by Blackwell. Makes a couple of defenders miss. And he's right at the line to gain. Depends on the spot. The near side official's marking him right at the line to gain. The far side official motions for a first down. So the Seahawks get their first down of the game with about 5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. So a bit of positive plays, offensive, defensively stacked together here for Maritime-Tapestry.
And sometimes that's all a team needs to get going is one positive play, and then you start to stack positive plays. And, if the Seahawks are able to score on this drive, they're going to be right back in the game.
Here's King. King will pick up 6 on first down. Nice hard run there by Alan King, the senior running back.
And Finn there on the tackle gets some help from his friends. But the HFL has been really prepared with this run defense. And you're right, Funderburk, we have not seen a lot of him, and we don't know if there's possibly an injury going on, but he's definitely been limited in his play tonight.
Coleman on the option, able to reverse his field. He'll get the first down, and then he's just darts out of bounds near midfield. So another first down here for the Seahawks as they are moving towards midfield.
Very shifty there. You see some good ball handling there, and then he's able to elude the tackler at the line of scrimmage and kind of dance his way out of bounds, but not before he gets that second first down.
And we mentioned Coleman, 574 yards coming in tonight, 14 touchdowns.
And that touchdown total is tied for second in all of Section 6 in terms of touchdowns scored. So he's definitely had a great start to his season. The story with him, Peter, he was a starting receiver last year, and he made the move to quarterback this year and has done a great job.
Coleman's pass incomplete in the direction of Aaron Bell. Grady Goodburlett, the defender in the territory, might have gotten a hand on that to disrupt the pass.
Coleman rolls out, and great coverage by Goodburlett. There wasn't a big window to make that connection. So Goodburlett, we've talked about his athleticism. We know that he's a future Division I lacrosse player, and doing a nice job with the coverage there.
So about 3:44 to go here in the second quarter. Seahawks with their best offensive drive of the night, nearing midfield. Handoff goes to Alan King. King will get about 3 yards. He'll get driven back ultimately, but forward progress will give him 2 yards.
And there's August Youngstrom again, right there, fights off the blocker, steps over, meets King head-to-head, and is able to push him back and stop the progress.
Patrick Adair also in on that tackle for HFL.
3rd and 7, heading toward the 3-minute mark.
And Funderburk is now to Coleman's left. We'll see if he touches the ball. Here's Coleman. Ball's on the ground.
He did touch it, but it's on the ground, and it's recovered by Gaudieri. It's going to be first down for HFL with
The freshman-
2:53 to play.
The freshman for HFL covers it up. The loose ball bounced right to him. Cougars take over inside Maritime-Tapestry territory again.
And you just look at the energy on that Cougar sideline. Big play there now with 2:53 left. Chance to score one more time before halftime. And this is where the playbook is wide open, right? You know the run game has been effective. The pass game has been there on the 3 times you've tried it. So really, Coach Russ can do whatever he wants right here.
Handoff goes to Finn. Finn to the left side, and he's going to be tackled, but not after until he picks up a first down at about the 30-yard line. That first down brought to you by HFMP. If you are looking for the brands you grew up with, Honeoye Falls Marketplace has them.
And great start to the drive. You see the pulling guard there, 56 for HFL.
Blake Fisher.
Blake Fisher gets the angle, gets the job, and gets Finn down the field. And when we've talked to Coach Russ over the years, it's technique and angles with these HFL linemen, Peter. Fisher's 5'9", 185, and he did a great job clearing the path right there.
Dalton potentially the touchdown-saving tackle there for the Seahawks. 1st and 10. Meacham to throw. Tosses it to Goodburlett. He spins. He breaks that tackle. And then he lowers his shoulder and picks up another first down for the Cougars, brought to you by HFMP. Looking for a quick meal on Tuesday night? Pick up a hot and delicious large cheese and pepperoni from HFMP for only $12.99.
You see the fake to Finn. Goodburlett has separation coming off the line, and again, he's not done. After he makes the catch, he's able to make a move and get 5 more yards.
And that's the RPO that HFL came out early in the season, I think, trying to run, and they just didn't have the timing down. Game 6, second half of October. It's there and it's working. Meacham again to throw. Looking like a screenplay. Wasn't there. He rolls out and then tosses to Finn. And Finn will catch it and pick up 2 before being dropped there by, again, number 14. That's David Dalton coming up, making another tackle.
And a nice job here by both Finn and Meacham not to give up on the play. Maritime-Tapestry had the screen defended, and Finn did a good job of running with his quarterback, giving him an outlet. Meacham bought himself some time, and it's a 2-yard gain instead of a 5-yard loss.
So we're about a minute to go here in the first half. HFL with all 3 timeouts. 2nd and 8, ball at the 15-yard line. Meacham hands off Finn, and Finn breaks a tackle and then is dragged over to the 5-yard line, so it'll be 1st and goal for HFL. Yet another first down brought to you by HFMP. After the game, grab a certified Angus steak from the butchers at Honeoye Falls Marketplace.
And it just looks like Finn is doing the same thing time after time. The line is moving people, and now we're looking at 1st and goal from the 5 with the clock running.
Yeah, Cougars not taking a timeout. They're hoping to punch this thing in with as little time left and without having to take a timeout. Meacham, handoff Finn. Finn left side. Finn falling forward. He'll be about a yard or 2 short. Probably see a timeout here by the Cougars with 10 seconds.
Right, 10 seconds left. It's going to be about 2nd and goal. I think they're right on the doorstep, right down to the 1. So maybe time for 2 plays.
This timeout brought to you by the Sentinel. The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel has been proudly providing local community news for 30 years, since 1989. The Sentinel is a weekly community print newspaper that is proud to call this area their home. You can see Sentinel's social media channels, website on the screen there. So we have our clock here just under 10 seconds.
And it looks like the ball's going to be marked at the 2-yard line. This is going to be very similar to like a 2-point conversion kind of play, Peter. So maybe if you have a favorite 2-point conversion play, you roll it out here and see if you can get it for a touchdown.
And for the Cougars, if they get stopped, they almost have to immediately take that timeout and make sure that they give themselves at least
chance for a
another
field goal,
play.
Right?
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if they don't score here. Do they go with bring Gathercole out for the 3 or try and go up by 28 into halftime? But first, they got to run this 2nd and goal play before we can talk about what they're going to do next.
And do they? Yeah.
So they have Feinberg as the up back on the left side of the offensive line. Finn is behind Meacham.
It's Youngstrom and Feinberg. You're running behind those two, I think, right here, aren't you?
Here's the handoff to Finn, and Finn is untouched into the end zone. Brian Finn finding the Meehan Architecture end zone again tonight. It will extend this HFL lead 27-0 over Maritime-Tapestry pending the point after.
And we just could see that they had it lined up exactly how they wanted it. August Youngstrom is here at the guard spot, and Feinberg was right behind him, so you got 2 of your most powerful players paving the way, and Finn's in again.
And kick up and good. Gathercole stays perfect on the season. We'll take another look here at that touchdown by Brian Finn.
And really, start to finish, that half couldn't be any better for the Cougars. They come out, run the ball down the field after taking the opening kickoff, then are able to convert that late turnover into another touchdown. 28-0 heading into the half with 6 seconds left. Everybody here in Cougar country has got to be happy with basically everything they saw out there tonight.
And it's been a great first 2 quarters. One of the keys to the game was 4 quarters. HFL's got to string together 4 good quarters. They've had 2 great quarters here. And if they can get another 2 great quarters, they will be well on their way to the 2nd win of the season. Still a lot of football left to be played here, though. 6 seconds to go in the first half. During halftime, we'll break down the first half, look at some highlights, and what to expect in the second half of play.
We're going to go back to the squib kick here probably, right?
Neither of his kicks take a whole lot of time off the board, so I don't know what to expect here. As it's a line drive that will roll and roll and roll and roll and eventually
another touchback.
Roll as a touchback. So no time comes off the clock.
And not the traditional touchback, but a touchback nonetheless. And it just kind of goes to show you just how strong Ezra's leg is.
And that's a bit of a more knuckleball, kind of what some of the NFL players have been trying with the new kickoff rule. A little bit more unpredictable on the bounce.
Right.
And if HFL can get a lucky bounce and that thing doesn't roll forever into the end zone, that's a live football, and somebody can make a play on it from either team. We'll see if the Seahawks elect to do anything with 6 seconds left. They will receive to start the second half. And it looks like they are in a kneel-down formation, so that will run out the clock here on the first half. HFL leading Maritime-Tapestry 28-0. We'll take a quick commercial timeout.
Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Fresh breads, donuts, special cakes made every day from scratch. Our butcher still cuts your meats to order. Doesn't get any better than that. Hot pizza, fish fries on Friday. Order your favorite sub right here. Organic foods and healthy choices. And beer, lots of beer. Honeoye Falls Marketplace. We're true blue local. Uncompromising. customized quality close to home.
Today's game also brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Fans who are sitting on IRA money that they don't know what to do with, or those who want to take control of their 401k money left at an old employer, should give Bullfinch a call at 624-3150. Did you know a working teenager can become a retirement millionaire just by starting a child IRA? Want to learn more? Call your local mutual fund, the Bullfinch Fund, at 624-3150. Bullfinch Fund. Invest right. Invest right here. Tonight's game also brought to you by Meehan Architecture. With the HFL Sports Update, girls swimming and diving was competing in the league championship this evening at Churchville Chili. Meanwhile, the girls' tennis team had won the Class B1 sectional championship last Friday, defeating Mercy by a score of 5-0. And as a result, the girls competed earlier today against HAC in the state qualifier. Not sure how that one ended, whether or not the girls will be moving on to the next round. But maybe we'll find out in just a couple seconds here, as the new athletic director for HFL, Ed Orman, is in the broadcast booth here tonight, and we'll be joining Steve Bradley for a brief interview here at halftime. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back with that interview. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel live on YouTube. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to James Dollard Stadium, campus of HFL. Steve Bradley, halftime here with the Cougars leading Maritime-Tapestry 28-0. We're joined by a special halftime guest, Honeoye Falls-Lima Athletic Director Ed Orman Jr. Ed, welcome to Honeoye Falls-Lima. You've been on the job about 6 weeks. How's everything going?
It's really great. Everything's the community, the kids, the staff have just been so welcoming and so understanding of how big a change this is for me after being in one place for 25 years and coming to someplace pretty new. But they've really made it feel like home, and it's been just an incredible transition. Right from Brian Donahue handing the reins over all the way up to the coaches and the staff and the kids.
And to familiarize those who don't know with your background, when you say the same place 25 years, you were at your alma mater, York High School over in Livingston County, where you were a very successful basketball coach, you were a football coach, and you were a student athlete there. So you're familiar with HFL from when you grew up and when you were from a distance. What did you admire about this position, and what made you want to make that change after 25 years? That takes a little bit of courage to make a change after that much time in one place.
Sure. Well, as a player growing up, HFL was such a part of the LCAA. And even as my early coaching days, I've coached numerous games on Dollard Field. I've played here. So I always respected the tradition, the pride, the community, and, I was always pretty jealous of the color code. Purple and gold isn't as good on a big guy as black and gold is. But you could just tell every time you came here, this was a community with immense amount of pride. And rightfully so. They were always had a ton of success in the LCAA. Every time we came here, we knew it was going to be a tough night. And as far as coming here, I had to weigh off the positives and the negatives of my family, my career. I felt like at York, I had, kind of been there, done that. We'd accomplished everything we could accomplish. I had a great deal of respect. I keep saying that for Mr. Donahue. Always thought so highly of him. And, a few years ago we started talking. He's like, boy, would you ever be interested in coming over here? And I was like, I don't know. And as time went on, we'd laugh when we came over here for different sports and different soccer games and stuff on the field. And when it came up and the job came open, it was too good of an opportunity to pass up. And I felt like I was a little bit in a rut at York. I was loving coaching. but I was an assistant principal and an AD, and the workload was just getting tougher and tougher. And I wanted to focus all my time in my, I have about 10 to 12, 15 years left to work in education. And I wanted to work on the things I loved, and I have a passion for athletics, and this place matches it.
What do education-based athletics mean to in a community like this, and to somebody like you, with the opportunity that student athletes have to learn and grow these lessons that they take far beyond the playing field and into life?
I mean, I love that you said that, educational athletics. To me, that's what separates us. Anybody can go join a club sport, a community sport, but educational athletics are different. I look at athletics at this school as a complete extension of the classroom. And along with that comes a couple of different things. First of all, if you look at HFL, we are extremely successful in the classroom. We're a district of choice in this region. People want to come here for the education we offer. And my job as an athletic director, and our job as an athletic program, is to offer an equally competitive and enticing athletic array for our kids, both in the scope of programs we offer and the quality we offer. And, that extension of the classroom is a lot of the lessons we don't get an opportunity to teach in a classroom. How to be a good winner, how to be a good loser, how to handle when things don't go your way. I've told people right from the minute I got here, I want to win probably as much, if not more, than anybody in this community. That being said, I want to win, and then I want that team to walk off the field against us and go, man, they're so good, and they're such great people. That's my hope for everybody who comes here.
You mentioned Brian Donahue a couple of times. He certainly came here and left his stamp on the program, was here for going into the Monroe County League. Did you have a time to interact with him a little bit in the transition phase? And did he give you any words of wisdom, or did he say, you come here and do your own thing? He
was so amazing. I mean, like I said, first of all, I have nothing but the highest regard for Brian Donahue, even before I was here. But I did get like 5 weeks with him, which was just unbelievable. He moved out of his office. He said, no, it's your office now. And he went down the hall, and he was in a little suite, but I was constantly at his door picking his brain. I still see him about once a week. I talk to him probably every other day just to get his idea of things. To your point, nobody did athletic administration better than Brian Donahue. And I'm still every day trying to reach his level in that regard. Our backgrounds were a little different. I had a little bit more of a coaching background and a little bit more in between the sidelines background. But Brian just had a tremendous ability to run an athletic department, both fiscally and from a personnel standpoint.
Gotcha. As we look out, one of the things people often talk about at HFL are the facilities and how a gracious host, not only for regular season competition, but in sectionals. And we see this new track. And what are some of the things that are going to be happening or you want to see happen in these early years with you here in HFL? Any goals or anything that people can look for?
Well, first of all, it's just to make sure that standard doesn't drop at all. To make sure that we stay the district of choice, that people want to come to this community and want to be a part of it. That being said, we are also going to be a very, very good partner with Section 5. I have a lot of roots in Section 5. I sat on the Section 5 executive committee for 7 years. I've been in many leadership roles in Section 5 with Section 5 basketball, Section 5 football. And so we will open our doors actually, the 28th, the 29th. Those 2 nights we have semifinals here of boys soccer in Section 5, and then November 1st we're hosting the sectional titles for 3 different boys soccer games. The other thing is just to keep stay cutting edge, I guess is the biggest word. Our facilities are always great. We're replacing this turf as soon as lacrosse is over this year, and then to make sure that our facilities keep up with the Joneses and are always a thing that this community can be proud of.
Gotcha. You're a former football player, former football coach. Be remiss not to ask you, Cougars up 28-0 at the half. What are your thoughts on the first half? It probably couldn't have gone any better from an HFL perspective.
Man, our guys up front. I was an O-line coach. Our guys up front are making making some big holes. I could have gotten a few yards tonight with the way they're opening the holes up. And, Coach Russ and his staff do an awesome job. I've really gotten to know those guys just because I'm a little nosy. And like you said, I think for a few years here I'm going to miss that sideline quite a bit. And so I end up spending a little bit more time with those guys in those places. And they're doing a great job. And, man, we have some good kids. And we could very easily be a 4-2 football team right now, I think.
Right, they've had some close games, and they've played a very, very difficult, challenging schedule. And you look at the East Ridge, East Monroe, and a good accounting for them all the way through. And as we wrap this up, Ed, you kind of mentioned your goal is to keep the standard, but when people say Cougar pride, what do you want them to take away, and what do you want that to mean to not just people in the community, but people beyond Section 5 and even regionally and across New York State?
I think exactly what you said earlier. The terms used, we're going to be an educational athletics program that's based on values and moral. Our kids are going to play as hard as anybody you're going to find in Section 5. Our coaches are going to coach us hard. We're going to be prepared. But at the end of the night, you're also going to have a respect for, wow, those are some great people, some great kids. And, it's tough to play there every night, but people are happy to come back here. And, we are a beacon, and I've said it a few times that, a district of choice, one of the leaders in Section 5 and New York State. So I'm very proud to be a part of that, and I'm going to work my tail off every day for that's one thing. I think if you talk to people who I've been around, nobody's going to outwork me, and they're going to have my heart, soul, and every bit of my spirit into this program. So, I'm really looking forward to it, and just meeting more people, learning more names, and getting myself totally acclimated here.
And I think we could feel that energy and that spirit as we're talking. It's almost like you could give it the halftime speech here for Coach Russ. But Ed Orman, Athletic Director here at Honeoye Falls-Lima, thank you for joining us here on the Sentinel's live stream, and thanks for all you do. I mean, we've been doing these games for 5 or 6 years, and it's always great to come out and do this and showcase the great things you have going on here.
Yeah, thank you guys too. You guys do a top-notch job. I mean, this is a professional broadcast, and this community is very lucky to have you. So thanks a lot.
Thank you, Ed.
Yep,
take care, and we'll be back with the second half in just a few minutes.
We're about 90 seconds away from the start of the second half. We'll take a quick look at the first half highlights before we get going here. Starting off, the scoring for HFL was Brian Finn, 4-yard run.
Right there off the opening drive, capped that. HFL came out, set the tone, and then on the next drive, it's Benny Feinberg with a 9-yard run. 14-0 Cougars with 4 minutes left in the first quarter.
And then with 24 seconds left in the first quarter, it was Meacham finding Good Burlette, 24-yard score, give HFL a 3-touchdown lead.
And that may have been the first pass that Meacham threw all night for a touchdown. Then right before the half, 6 seconds left, Brian Finn, his second touchdown of the night, a 2-yard run. Ezra Gathercole tonight, 4 for 4 on extra points. It's 28-0 here at the break, Peter. And a little surprised that it's that we have that score that we do right now.
Yeah, we came into this game knowing that Maritime-Tapestry has played some very formidable opponents, and they're 4-2, HFL 1-5. But as we talked with head coach John Russ earlier this week, he said, I think this might be the best 1-5 team that he's ever coached. Now, as of late, he hasn't coached a whole lot of teams with 5 losses. You got to go back, I believe, to 2016, where they lost 6 games that year. But I think it just speaks a lot about just the schedule and the opponents that HFL has faced this year, playing essentially a Class A schedule. It's been tough, and it's been a bit of a long season, but as you mentioned in the first half, the fact that he's able to rally this team and put up the result they have put up in this first half, we'll see if they can finish it off here in the second half as the ball just bounces into the end zone.
That looks like that's 4 touchbacks so far for Gather Cole, and he's done it a bunch of different ways, and that's amazing. I mean, it's just such a weapon for the Cougars to have to basically eliminate the chance of a big return.
So the touchback brings the ball to the 20-yard line. That's where the Seahawks will start with it for their first offensive possession of the second half.
And I think this drive is critical for both teams, right? If you're Maritime-Tapestry, you want to just get on the board and get some positive things going in your direction. And if you're the Cougars, you don't want to let go of that momentum that you worked so hard to build over the first 24 minutes.
And here's just a quarterback keep by Coleman. And Coleman will knock it back to the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss. Tackle by number 3 for HFL.
That's Brian Finn.
Brian Finn.
Yeah, Finn doing it on both sides of the ball. You see him reading the play from his linebacker spot. Does a nice job, stays in position, gets into the backfield, and makes that negative play for Maritime-Tapestry. So Finn getting it done on both sides of the ball.
And the last time the Seahawks had the ball, they did string together a couple positive plays, a couple first downs, and then it abruptly ended with the fumble.
Right. So, they have moved the ball a little bit. I had them with just 2 first downs in the first half, but they were on that last drive, and it looks like they're going to come close to picking up a third one here, but it's going to be about 3rd and 1.
Yeah, Davion Blackwell there on the reception. He'll be tackled about the 29-yard line. So as you mentioned, Steve, about a yard shy.
And the HFL defense, you've got to give them so much credit because they came out expecting Maritime-Tapestry to run, and they've stopped that run, and they've forced them to do something that they're less comfortable doing. Not that they are unable to pass, but it's just not their favorite thing to do, and they're making them make that adjustment.
Coleman to throw again. Again to, believe Davidson there. Or excuse me, Blackwell.
Yep.
And he's going to be enough. He's got enough for a first down, so that'll give a new set of downs to the Seahawks.
And, that's what Maritime-Tapestry needed. Just not go 3 and out, get a first down, get another chance to establish something. And I am a little bit surprised, given that the yards per carry that they came in with, that they haven't been able to do a little bit more on the ground so far.
This time Coleman hands off to King. And King is met at the line of scrimmage. He'll get about a yard, though.
Yeah, good push there by that HFL defense, and I think it's Gaudieri is right there. I see Adair, and I think it's settled. So,
and we've been mentioning those 3 linebackers quite a bit tonight for this HFL defense, Finn, Gaudieri, and Fisher. As we have an injured player for the Seahawks, that'll stop the clock.
Both teams headed to their sidelines as the medical training staff comes onto the field. And it'll be 2nd and 10 when play resumes.
During this injury timeout, I'll give a quick update. Girls varsity tennis for HFL, we were able to ask Ed off air how they fared today. So their doubles team is moving on to the next round of states, while the team itself on Monday, I believe he said, will face HAC.
The team sectional portion.
Portion. So today was individuals and doubles, and the doubles team for the Cougars moving on to the next round.
And we really appreciate Ed stopping by, giving us some time. He's been on the job a couple months, and you can sense from his voice that he loves being here and he's looking forward to the opportunity.
As the player for Maritime Tapestry is able to get up, that's number 52, Gabe Houston. Assisted off the field by some of the training staff for the Seahawks.
Gabe is a sophomore, 6'2", 200 pounds, big, strong player, and we just hope that that he's okay.
So we'll call it 2nd and 10 here for the Seahawks. Their opening possession of the second half, as Coleman is directing his personnel into the appropriate spots, collects the snap. He's going to throw under pressure, able to elude the first tackler, and then ripped down by number 14 for HFL. That's Owen Carney.
Yeah, Brian Finn disrupted that play from the get-go, came from his outside linebacker spot, really just shedded the running back that was there to block, and then Carney comes in and is able to finish that tackle.
So it ends up being a loss of about 12 yards.
Yeah, and HFL just is dialed in right now, Peter. This is the most, they played some really tough opponents the last few weeks and haven't gotten the result, but tonight they're playing well and getting the result as well.
So 3rd and very long. It's going to be a quarterback keep by Coleman, and he's going to get about to the line of scrimmage and then engaged with a couple of HFL defenders. So it'll stay 4th and long.
Yeah, HFL just
right into the arms of Johnny Gutierrez, waiting for him in the hole.
But the HFL defense is not being moved off the line of scrimmage. They're either getting penetration or they're holding their ground, and that's made it very difficult for Maritime Tapestry to get anything going tonight.
Yep, it's always way easier as a linebacker when the guys in front of you aren't getting pushed right into you. As here's a long spiral kick out towards midfield, caught by Goodburlett at midfield with some green turf in front of him to the far sideline inside the 20, makes the defender miss inside the 10-5. Is he into the end zone? He reached for the pylon, waiting for his officials, and he's in. Grady Goodburlett returns the punt 50 yards for a score.
And that's just Grady Goodburlett in his element. A good punt. The coverage is not there yet. Goodburlett has space. He gets a good block on the outside to get things going. He's headed downfield, gets to the sideline at the 30, and breaks the tackle there about the 12-yard line and just powers his way into the end zone. Second touchdown of the night for Goodburlett.
We'll call that a 49-yard punt return touchdown as Gather-Cole comes out on the field to attempt the point after. Believe that's the Cougars' first punt return for a touchdown. They had a kick return for a touchdown, but I believe that's their first punt return for a touchdown on the season.
And now you can say that the Cougars are clicking in all three phases. The defense really set that up with the sack, making it 4th and long, and Goodburlett with the explosive return.
Kick is good. Cougars 35, Seahawks nothing. Here's another look at that kick.
And I'm trying to see who got the block on the outside. Was that Benny Feinberg? Or is that number 8?
I think that was, it's hard to tell. I think it was Sam Oliver, the gunner on the far side.
Yeah, I think that block really gave Goodburlett the opportunity to catch the ball, get ahead of steam. And when he was rolling into the open field, he was not going to be denied right there.
Both teams finding themselves in some unfamiliar territory. Maritime Tapestry hasn't really faced a situation like this, and the Cougars haven't had a lead like this.
Right, and when you have these crossover games, you're never quite sure what they're going to yield because the two sections are so different. And HFL probably playing that difficult schedule. Their record is misleading. I mean, Ed Orman said on our halftime interview that they very easily could be 4-2 instead of 1-5, And we're seeing a team that looks like a 4-2 team right now. And then, with Maritime-Tapestry, you mentioned the long trip and maybe not having Funderburk at full strength. It's tough. It's been a tough start for them. And they'll take over here at their own 25-yard line.
So Blackwell returns it out to the 25-yard line. No touchback there for Gathercole. And if HFL is able to hold on to this lead and get the win, their 2 wins this year will be against Section 6 schools.
And that might, and we'll have to wait and see how the state and the regional playoffs play out. But that might be a sign that the football in Section 5 is pretty tough this year. And we certainly know it is when you're looking at Monroe and East, the last 2 opponents.
Seahawks to throw on first down. Excuse me. Going to be caught for 2 yards by Dalton.
And I also think, Peter, that Brockport, which was here for the homecoming game at the end of September, has a chance to host a home game in Class A. So you've got three of the Class A opponents are going to be teams that are likely hosting home games, and that they have to earn those.
Second and 8 for Maritime-Tapestry. Coleman to pass, throws one up, and that's going to be intercepted. Going the other way is number 1, Austin Coyle, trying to break the tackle, and he's going to muscle his way all the way inside the 40-yard line. I believe that was number 6, Aaron Bell, who had a fistful of jersey and was tugging, and Coyle was just bringing him along for the ride there.
Yeah, that ball's overthrown, and Coyle is one of the several seniors for HFL getting an interception on senior night. We'll talk more about the seniors later, but that's a great opportunity, a great memory for him to make that play on senior night.
And for this HFL offense, it's yet another possession starting inside Seahawk territory at the 38-yard line of Maritime-Tapestry. Feinberg in the backfield. He'll get the handoff. He'll go straight ahead, where he'll be met by Blackwell, but he'll pick up 3 there on first down.
HFL just going back to that run game. It's been so potent tonight.
Call it about 2nd and 7 here for the Cougars. HFL to pass. Here's Good Burlett on the screen on the near sideline. Makes the defenders miss. Foot race. Cuts back inside. Tackled at the 15-yard line. First down, HFL, brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Our bakers arrive in the wee hours of the morning to handcraft HFMP's signature scratch donuts.
And we've seen the screen there. Good Burlett gets the ball in open space. Gets a block downfield from number 6 for HFL. That's Shane Sampson. And Good Burlett gets it inside the red zone. Cougars on the move again.
Cougars come out 4 receiver set. Trips to the far sideline. Finn is to Meacham's right. Meacham hands off to Finn. Finn straight ahead. Finn inside the 10, inside the 5. Dives for the end zone. Waiting for the official signal. And yes, Finn in the Meehan Architecture end zone for what, the 3rd time tonight?
A hat trick for number 3. And it's the same play they've been running all night. That isolation play, they've been choosing to go left or right. This time they chose to go right, and Brian Finn carries it right into the end zone.
So with 4:08 to go in the 3rd quarter, Gathercole is back out on the field, attempting the point after. Kick is up. Kick is good. 42 now for HFL.
So we got to take a look at the push that they got there, right? 56. You've got 56 doing his job. Blake Fisher, August Youngstrom's downfield doing his job, and the whole line all night long left to right, tackle August Youngstrom, guard Colin Bailey, center Patrick Adair, right guard Blake Fisher, and right tackle Cale Grasley. Couldn't ask for anything more from those 5 tonight.
And Blake Fisher's had to step up the last couple games. They have been without senior captain Luca Menz. So Fisher's had to been plugged into that right guard position, and through the last 2 games he's played quite well.
Yeah, and I'll mention the names of the HFL seniors right now, Peter, and then we can talk about them more probably in the fourth quarter. But 54, Patrick Adair. Number 1, Austin Coyle. 10, Ezra Gathercole. 66, Cal Grasley. 14, Owen Carney. 21, Aiden Carney. 33, Jack Lighthouse. 22, Sam Martin. Quarterback Nate Meacham. Number 52, Luca Menz, who you just mentioned. Number 6, Shane Sampson had that block on that catch there by Goodberlet a couple minutes ago. Chris Settles, number 55. Marco Vengochia, number 7. And number 64, August Youngstrom.
Here's a decent return by the Seahawks as he gets out to midfield. That was number 11, Blackwell, who got great return there. They did switch the kicker. That was not Gathercole kicking. That was, I believe, number 32 for the Cougars, Hudson Reed. Kicked a bit of a line drive, and Blackwell was able to get a great return off of it.
And that's the best starting field position for Maritime Tapestry tonight. And just to mention, the HFL also honored its cheerleaders before tonight's game, the senior cheerleaders, Hope Marble, Evelyn Rose, Marin Allen, and Sky Herbert. So big night for all of those seniors, and that looks like it's going to be a memorable and successful one.
We'll see if Maritime Tapestry can kind of try and cash in here on the good return as the first play. That's going to be a touchdown. Coleman goes the distance.
45 yards for Coleman, and there's some of that explosiveness that's been on display all season in Section 6. It's a straight carry. He gets through the line, and he's not going to be caught.
So the Seahawks are now on the board with 3:18 to go in the third quarter.
That obviously set up by that huge return.
And that's Coleman's 15th touchdown of the season as they go for 2. Play clock reset there. So Coleman's going to go under center, and they're going to run a old-fashioned 3-back I formation. And Coleman's going to hand off to King, and he's going to be marked just short. So 2-point try, no good for the Seahawks, so they'll stay at 6 points. But what was set up by a great return by Blackwell ends in a tremendous quarterback scamper by Coleman.
Yeah, and Coleman was basically at the first down marker before you really even knew that he had the ball. He's so quick and so explosive getting off the line there. And that's a positive play that the Seahawks have been looking for all evening. And as I mentioned, Coleman was a starting receiver last season. The quarterback that started last year transferred, so the coaching staff went to him in the offseason and said, hey, do you want to make the change? And he stepped in, and Coach Molinitz just talked about how he's been just a great leader, and how he's embraced the role. He says he's the leader, he's the captain. Everything that he does is smooth, whether it's rolling out passing or running the football, and we saw some of that there.
And here's just a little middle field dribble going to be fielded by HFL. This is Chris Settles, who gets a nice return himself inside the 40-yard line of Maritime Tapestry.
And there's a moment, right? Chris often plays defensive end. He doesn't get to touch the football a lot, so he's going to remember that. A lot of times you're in that second line, you just go down, but Chris saw an opportunity and a very nice return right there.
So play results in the HFL offense with another possession starting in Seahawk territory. Brian Finn, the back to Meacham's left. He'll get the handoff, makes the first defender miss, and then tackled from behind by number 51, Jaden Mason, for Maritime-Tapestry.
Yeah, Mason a leader on this defense, and nice play there. Finn still with a positive run, gets about 7 yards. And HFL probably going to stick with the run game quite a bit here to keep this clock moving.
And Jaden Mason, offensive and defensive lineman for the Seahawks. That was another player that jumped out to the head coach, Molinich, mentioning how intelligent he is and his approach to the game stands out from the rest of the team and how he does just everything 1,000 miles per hour.
Yep.
2nd and 5. Handoff goes to Feinberg. Going to be about a yard short of the first down marker.
And Coach Mullen talked about how he grew up in a household where football was so important with his dad for 30 years and on coach at Pittsford and his brothers. And he says even when I was young and I would come downstairs on Sunday mornings and my dad would have his whole staff in the living room sitting on the couches watching film, and I would just sit in the corner and soak it all in. And his dad was a big illustrator and drawing, and he says if I've taken one thing from my dad coaching, it's the ability to illustrate and draw things out. And he goes, everything and that kind of the way I do that I learned from him. And he was just really happy to have all the experiences he had with his dad and to be able to learn that. And his mom's at the game here tonight, but his dad is the director of player development for the University of Buffalo, so he's traveling with the Bulls, who are at UMass this weekend.
As Cougars are just short there, it's going to be 4th and about 1 or 2 yards. And there's an HFL connection to the Pittsford football program. Longtime head coach, then offensive coordinator for the Cougars, Dan Hoyt, was an assistant at Pittsford. Very close with Keith and the Molinich family. And unfortunately, he was unable to be here tonight either as he continues his college football tour in retirement, going to different games as the Cougars here on 4th down handoff to Finn, and I think he's got just enough. So, yes, that'll be a first down for HFL, brought to you by HFMP. Nothing says autumn like our locally pressed Schutt preservative-free apple cider on sale for only $4.99 per gallon every Sunday.
And I think that's going to do it for the third quarter here, Peter.
So we'll take a quick commercial timeout and get ready for the fourth quarter.
Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Fresh breads, donuts, special cakes made every day from scratch. Our butcher still cuts your meats to order. Doesn't get any better than that. Hot pizza, fish fries on Friday. Order your favorite sub right here. Organic foods and healthy choices. And beer, lots of beer. Honeoye Falls Marketplace. We're true blue local. Uncompromised quality close to home.
Today's game also brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Fans who are sitting on IRA money that they don't know what to do with, or those who want to take control of their 401k money left to an old employer, should give Bullfinch a call at 624-3150. Did you know a working teenager can become a retirement millionaire just by starting a child IRA? Want to learn more? Call your local mutual fund, the Bullfinch Fund, at 624-3150. Bullfinch Fund. Invest right here. And tonight's game also sponsored by Meehan Architecture. With the Meehan Architecture HFL Sports Update, the girls' varsity volleyball team has 4 matches left in the regular season, with their next one scheduled at home this Monday against Brockport. The girls are currently in 7th place in the sectional standings with a record of 7-7 and with a chance to maybe move up before the sectional tournament. So we've got a pre-snap penalty.
Right, and the clock's running. The quarter hasn't started yet, but I'm not sure what's going on.
So it is first down for HFL, first play of the fourth quarter. Cougars to pass. And this is in the direction of Good Burlett. He's got it, and he strolls into the Meehan Architecture end zone. First play of the fourth quarter, Meacham fires a strike to Good Burlett.
31-yard touchdown, third touchdown of the night for Goodberlet. Gets behind the defense, turns around, waits for the ball. It's in his hands, and then it's in the end zone. Second touchdown pass of the night for Nate Meacham.
And second one to Goodberlet.
So Goodberlet and Finn both with 3 touchdowns each tonight for the Cougars.
PAT up and good.
7 for 7. So he came in with 14, right? Or 13 coming in tonight?
He came in 13 for 13, so he's now 20 for 20 on the season.
20/20 vision for Gather Cole. So what do you think a game like this does for the HFL confidence, right? Because we've talked about how Class B is unique in Section 5 with just 4 teams. Monroe is playing Batavia tonight. I haven't heard a score there, so that'll be interesting to see that score. Those 2 teams are first and second. Batavia's 4-2. Monroe is unbeaten. And then HFL's in the third spot. The game next week they have
is against Rochester Prep.
Rochester Prep. So there's an opportunity to come into sectionals with a 2-game win streak. You get a week off, and then you get very likely a chance to play Batavia. And Batavia was the opening night game. They might have been building all season for that opportunity. So I think that, even though the middle of the season's been rough, there's a lot for the Cougars to look forward to.
Here's another kickoff by Hudson Reed, and this time, wow, a couple of broken tackles. I thought they had him down there at the 35-yard line, and he's somehow able to break through everything and almost get out to midfield.
And I love to see that, right? Because we're looking at a 49-6 score, and it would be real easy to go down on contact here, and then he just keeps those legs moving and gets through a whole pile of tacklers, like 4 or 5 tacklers, and comes out the other side. That's the kind of play you show in the film room on Monday and say that's who we are. We don't quit.
Yeah, David Dalton, we've mentioned his name a couple times tonight, as it looks like we got a player shaking up on the far sideline on that return. Going back to what this game means and could mean for HFL is it's something that I think they can build on. To come into the game 1-5, and they've had a gauntlet of a schedule, like we mentioned, having to play Easton Monroe back-to-back weeks. Class A Brockport on homecoming. It's been tough playing at Eastridge, where they had the lead in the final minute, and Eastridge scores the go-ahead touchdown, and it's been just as we mentioned at halftime, the way the games have gone. They're 1-5. They maybe could have a better record if a couple bounces that go their way. But just to end the season against a team like Rochester Prep, who is a newer program, and certainly HFL has usually been able to handle business against them. To finish the season with them, the way that tonight went, and again for us, this. Obviously, we're not in the meetings with the team, so we don't know what their attitudes and expectations were. But just for my perspective, I think you share the same way.
I was expecting a back and forth game. I was close game, and I was thinking that the Cougars would have their hands full, at least on the defensive side of the ball, and that's where they've really taken care of business tonight. They've taken care of business on offense too. That first drive when they came out and set that tone just by running down the field on 5 or 6 plays right to the end zone, I think that really got them the start that they needed.
So HFL making some substitutions here on defense as the Seahawks gain about 4 yards there on a run on first down.
And if you're the Seahawks here, you've got a 4-2 season coming in. You want to play to the final whistle and come out with something positive as they get ready for next week. And their game next week is against Barker Royalton Heartland. I think, did we see? Big
we
man
saw
carry, right?
A
51.
big man handoff. Yeah, 51. We mentioned him. I think on their last defensive series. I can't remember. Jaden Mason, just the standard he sets for the guys around him, and obviously, leader of the locker room, and there's a reason why, they're rewarding him with, getting the handoff and.
Right, and we saw that a little bit last year with HFL with the number 51 carrying the ball, didn't we?
And here's Coleman, who's got a first down run and more along the sideline, and he just steps out of bounds. Looked like
wow, that
was
he really tightrope there too. You thought that he might be able to go the distance. So glad we have the replay. There he is. He pulls it on the option, makes the cut. Has one blocker in front, and I think he got it like 2 steps before there, right?
Yeah, right about at
25-ish.
Yeah, although it looks like they're maybe giving him closer to the 10, as we have a player from Maritime-Tapestry shaken up on that play. That's number 11, Blackwell, who's one of their team leaders.
Yeah, he's been fantastic.
He's able to.
He's not putting a lot of weight on that foot.
Yeah.
Getting helped off the field by the training staff. So you're right, Peter. The spot's closer to the 15-yard line.
Well, as you said, Steve, it was a heck of an effort to walk the tightrope, so to speak, as Blackwell gets tended to on the sideline. Seahawks trying to find the end zone for the second time tonight. Coleman in the shotgun with 2 guys to his left and right. He'll throw the ball. This goes to Alan King, and King is escorted out of bounds at about the 10-yard line.
Just kind of mixing it up here, moving down the field. HFL getting some new players in the game, getting a chance for some of the second-team players to get some reps.
2nd and 5 now. Coleman again to throw. Throws it out to the far sideline. That's going to be caught, and into the end zone is number 14, David Dalton. So a guy who hasn't quit tonight with the reception and the touchdown gets rewarded.
I really liked that he got that touchdown because he had that kickoff return where he showed all of that determination and that he was going to be there for his teammates and play until the final whistle. And then to get that was really just a kind of an out and up, and caught the ball, made a nice play, got into the end zone for a 15-yard touchdown pass.
Seahawks again going for 2. Last time they ran that I formation run, and this time it is a handoff.
It's Mason.
To Jaden Mason. And Mason gets the 2-point conversion for the Seahawks, and they raise their score to 14.
And you got to like that too, don't you? I mean, just to seeing these players that are working hard, getting rewarded. And, Coach Molinich could not speak any higher of Mason than he did to me on the phone the other night. And then he did a great job with the blitz pickup there too. So he got the big block to give his quarterback time on the touchdown pass. And then, he was not going to be denied on that 2-point try. And again, the clock's running during this timeout, Peter. I'm curious, it was like 6:52, and we're getting ready for the kickoff, so it's coming here in a minute.
Ball teed up here for Maritime Tapestry. They keep the ball low, and that's number 14 for the Cougars. Owen Carney just taking a knee.
And I mean, I did see some talk about mercy rules in football and things like that. There's no official rule in the state, but maybe the coaches have agreed to do what they can to shorten this game.
Yeah, have a running clock here in the fourth quarter. Keep the game moving.
And both teams, have a lot of players that play on both sides of the football. Reduce the risk for injury and things like that.
So it looks like the Cougars have made a change at the quarterback. We have Benny Feinberg coming in for Meacham. And Feinberg will hand off.
That's Sam Oliver.
That's number 8. Yep, Sam Oliver with the carry. So we've got Sam Oliver, who's a junior, and Ben Feinberg, who's a sophomore, maybe giving us a little bit of a inside look of a backfield that could be coming to us at some point in the future here.
What things might look like in 2026.
Feinberg pitches it to Oliver. Oliver gets the edge, gets a first down, stays on his feet, makes a man miss, and then gets tackled from behind.
Big hit there.
But it's a first down, and they're inside the 40-yard line of Maritime-Tapestry. This first down brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Looking for a convenient dinner after practice? HFMP serves delicious, hand-battered, hot and crispy fried chicken every day, along with our juicy rotisserie chickens.
And you talk about two players that are still playing hard through the final whistle. Nice run there by Oliver, very determined. And then Caden Powell, the sophomore for Maritime Tapestry, making that hustle play downfield to make that tackle.
Hand off again to Oliver. Working the sideline, or the near side half of the field. He'll get maybe a yard or two.
And good to see there for Maritime Tapestry, Davion Blackwell back in the game. He's in on that play and making that tackle. So he had left the field a little bit earlier with an injury, back on the field, and always good to see.
Hitting the 3.5-minute mark here of the fourth quarter.
And the Cougars didn't have to go Wildcat once tonight, did they? We did not see it at all tonight.
Here's Feinberg with a pass, and that's a reception by Shane Sampson, the senior wide receiver. I believe he's had a couple catches this year. Yep, came in tonight with 5 catches for 50 yards. Well, he just got his 6th, and about another 10 yards as that picks up a first down. And that's sponsored by HFMP, who have a wide selection of locally fermented foods and vegan options to nourish a plant-based lifestyle. Check out their newly expanded selection after the game.
Nice opportunity there for Sampson. Nice throw by Weinberg.
And the handoff goes to Oliver. Looked like he was going to be initially tackled at the line of scrimmage, but slipped out of it and picked up about 3-4 yards.
Yeah, good call by you. Kind of gets in the wash there, able to come out, make an advance downfield. And headed towards the final 2 minutes.
No 2-minute warning or 2-minute timeout in high school football, so I expect this clock to continue running.
And probably one more first down would do it for the Cougars.
4 receivers set for HFL. 3 to the far sideline. Oliver steps up to Feinberg's left. Handoff goes to Oliver. Oliver trying to wrestle out of the tackle, and he's able to break it. And then stood up by number 50, Trevor Miner, for the Seahawks.
Yeah, Trevor Miner in on that tackle, along with number 6, Aaron Bell. Bell initially had him. Oliver slipped away, and Bell got back in to help Oliver clean up.
As we hit the 92nd mark in the fourth quarter. We mentioned both these teams back in action next weekend. HFL will be hosting Rochester Prep on Friday. Meanwhile, the Maritime-Tapestry Seahawks will be in action on Saturday, the 25th, when they host Barker Royalton Heartland. Here's the handoff to Oliver. Oliver cutting in and out. And he'll be tackled at the 15-yard line with a minute to go here in the fourth quarter.
So it'll be fourth down for the Cougars. And just imagine they'll run one more play.
And we can see the play clock in clear view, the top right corner of your screen, reading about 25 seconds right now. So about just over 10 second.
Yeah, 12,
difference.
13 seconds. Yep. And Cougars in tight, victory formation.
Feinberg will take the knee to seal the deal here. And there we go. So that will do it. So final here for HFL Cougars 49, Maritime-Tapestry Seahawks 14. Cougars will move to 2-5 with their 2 wins both coming against Section 6 teams. Meanwhile, Maritime-Tapestry Seahawks will fall to 4-3. We'll take a quick look at the highlights here before we sign off. If you want to cue those up, Luke. Got the scoring started with Brian Finn.
4-yard run, opening drive of the game, set the tone for the night for the Cougars. First of 3 for Finn. Then Ben Feinberg with a 9-yard run on the Cougars' second drive. Puts HFL up 14-0 with 4 minutes to go in the first quarter.
And then the Cougars scored through the air with Nate Meacham firing a strike to Grady Goodburlett, 24 yards out with 24 seconds to go in the first quarter to extend the HFL lead 21-0.
And then second quarter, a little bit back and forth. Cougars got a turnover, set up a last-minute drive. Brian Finn with 6 seconds left with a 2-yard run.
In the rain at the end of the first half. And then the Cougars found the end zone in the second half via special teams with Grady Goodburlett on a 49-yard punt return.
I think if we had a play of the night, this would be my choice. It's just an explosive, exciting special teams return. There was a couple opportunities to get Goodburlett out of bounds. It didn't happen. He's in the end zone. Here we go with Tapestry. It throws down deep, interception on senior night. That's Austin Coyle, one of the 14 seniors for HFL. Nice play there, determined run. And always good to see seniors have a moment on senior night. Brian Finn comes through again for his third touchdown of the night. 15-yard run with 4:08 to go in the third. And then one of the highlights for Maritime Tapestry, a big kickoff return set up this run by the quarterback Coleman. Jalen Coleman goes 45 yards, and you see one of the reasons that he came into the game with 14 touchdowns in the first 6 games. And then over the top, Nate Meacham to Grady Goodburlett. Close out the scoring for the Cougars on the first play of the fourth quarter, a 31-yard pass. Ezra Gathercole's 7th extra point kick of the night. And then a big play for Maritime Tapestry. That's David Dalton on the catch from Coleman. And Dalton kind of set that up with a big kickoff return effort of his own. So the final score tonight, HFL 49 and Maritime Tapestry 14.
Steve, any closing thoughts? I know you won't be with us next week for HFL's last home game against Rochester Prep.
It was a lot of fun, Peter. I mean, it was a kind of an odd season, but it was a lot of fun for us. And it was good to be here tonight. And let's just give one final shout-out to the HFL seniors. They had a great night. What a way to go out on senior night for Patrick Adair, Austin Coyle, Ezra Gathercole, Cal Grasley, Owen Carney, Aiden Carney, Jack Lighthouse, Sam Martin, Nate Meacham, Luke Amends, Shane Sampson, Chris Settles, Marco Vengachia, and August Youngstrom.
And I'd like to thank our crew here tonight. Without them, we can't broadcast football here for HFL. So a special thank you to Luke Mendrick, who was operating Instant Replay, Bobby Bradley, operating our graphics, and up top in the rain, Chris Carosa operating our camera. So thank you to our crew.
A true like father-son operation tonight, right? And
for sure, yeah.
Plus Luke.
So thank you also to our sponsors for tonight's game. It's been a good night for HFL. Well-earned victory and setting up for a good final home stretch here. As we mentioned, we'll be back online next Friday night as HFL hosts Rochester Prep for their final regular season game of the year. So until next week, thanks so much for tuning in to the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel live on YouTube. Have a good night.